Hello and welcome to another episode of Focus On. My name is Kiamo Mosepele. We are in Durban at the Africa Travel Indaba, Africa's premier travel and tourism event. We spoke to the host city, Durban, on the preparation and state of readiness ahead of this year's Africa Travel Indaba. Let's listen in. When we look at the unique value proposition for the province as well as the city of Durban, what is the unique offering to host the Africa Travel Indaba here?
Well, we'll say there is no other place to host Indaba than KZN eThekwini, and we strongly believe that the attributes of our province says it all, that we have the beautiful weather, warm weather of course, and also the coastal line that is here, the mountains, and also the UNESCO sites that have been declared as the tourist attraction for us. So it's really a good thing. But over and above that, we are at the eThekwini. What is key is that there is beauty in all the districts within the KwaZulu-Natal. So those buyers and exhibitors that we have seen, some of them are here. Prior to Indaba, we have to take them through the pre-tour to show the beauty of our province. And we are saying as Tourism, KZN and Film Authority, even the locations of film productions are very beautiful in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We want to make sure that the legacy of Zulu Magic continues to prosper in this province.
Now, staying on the topic of the exhibitors here, what is the benefit for small, medium and micro enterprises at an event like this?
Well, for us, it's an exposure. We were consolidating the figures as well. In total, you have close to 160 SMMEs, and over and above that, as the entity on our own, we have carefully selected 12 SMMEs that are currently on the stand, where they can be able to showcase their products in the African continent, but they will also be able to sell it internationally. So when you have a platform of an exposure to this market, it's really key, because it's an indication that we are really building up our SMMEs as the province of KwaZulu-Natal. The hotels are full, the entertainment is buzzing. So KZN will be a place to be in the next 3 days.
Now, staying on the topic of the impact of the Tourism Indaba on the Durban economy, I understand that today's event has attracted over 23 airlines. When we look at that opportunity specifically for Durban, but largely for South Africa as well, what are the plans to take advantage of the players that are here today?
One of the key instruments of proper tourism is to ensure that there is accessibility. So to witness the number of airlines that are here who are eager to engage in getting direct lines in our beautiful international airport of King Shaka, with a beautiful statue that is there, it tells you that as the province of KwaZulu-Natal, we can be able to have direct airlines that are coming to our province. But with also the Club Med development, we are 100% sure that the numbers will go up, and we'll be able to secure the airlines that will be able to make sure that the frequency and the traveling is seamless and it's easy.
We still are in Durban at the Africa Travel Indaba. When we zero in local tourism, Durban obviously the host city, but what is the impact that you are driving forward in terms of localizing this interest in travel and tourism?
In terms of Travel Indaba, I think the impact it's having, it's a positive one, especially on the local communities, because we are here showcasing our regions, especially the outskirts and in the villages and the townships, which is quite great. It's a platform where we get to really talk to international buyers as well as local buyers, an opportunity we wouldn't otherwise have if it wasn't for this platform. So it's having a really good positive impact. Businesses are benefiting as a result of Indaba, and jobs are being created as well. So it's quite a good thing. Yes, we always encourage people when they come to Durban, which is actually what we're telling buyers as well, to say say, yes, come to your main or your known attractions like your beaches, as well as your safari experiences like you find in the Pezulu, but also don't forget to do your townships, because those are very important. As Durban, as you know, we talk about its warmth, saying it's the warmest place to be, but you are missing out on the other parts of the warmth, which is the people, if you are not going to the outskirts, your townships and villages. So as in tourism, we really encourage people to also venture out. Come here to Durban, stay a bit longer. And how you do that? You go to the outskirts as well.
And I like the point you've made about having an inclusive experience and going out to communities and particularly the township. I really want us to explore the Inc. Area Tourism Organization and also just expanding on why it's so important to nurture township tourism.
Okay, Inc. Tourism, maybe if I were to explain who are we and what is it that we do. We are a community tourism organization. Our main objectives are basically three of them. We are there to see to it that development happens at a local level, and also very important one, the marketing side. We need to see that it happens, hence we are here in these platforms. But another one that we do also, because we do have members in our organization, businesses that are part of our organization, we do a little bit of lobbying for them to make sure that they are also part of the mainstream economy, tourism economy that is. And it's playing a huge role in terms of development of tourism in those localities, the community tourism organizations. We are in tourism, we are one of the 9 in the city. In the provincial setup, we are legislated at that level at the province, and then that legislation is then handed down to the regions to make sure that it is implemented. And our interaction with the region is very good, and they are assisting us very well. Hence, we are here, and that's why we are here, because they give us those opportunities. So it's really positive, and it's really great, and we're hoping it's going to continue, because it's going to be aiding our recovery as well, because we know we have suffered as a city, suffered from COVID, we suffered also from the floods, especially as the region, and being here does assist a lot in that to make sure that we recover quickly as the sector. Yeah.
And as you work, as you mentioned, to put township tourism in the mainstream, what would you say sets that experience apart? And what is your message to potential visitors on why there's a benefit in particularly visiting the township?
What sets us apart? I don't think we have enough time to really explain or tell you about our region, because where I come from, maybe I'll zone in on that one. I come from the Inc. area. We actually say we are the richest community in South Africa because of the experiences that we do have there. We also have a World Heritage Site in Uhlange, where Dr. Nelson Mandela voted in 1994 in our first democratic elections. We got quite a lot. This is just one part that I'm mentioning, which is part of our heritage experience. So that's what makes us unique. So those sort of experiences, you normally find them in the townships, in the outskirts. You might miss them in the city centers. Hence, we are encouraging people to visit there. I think I missed the second part of your question. I know you said what makes us unique.
But I would say, what is your message to potential visitors on why they should experience township tourism?
Okay. It's very important that they visit the townships as well because of sustainable tourism. You know, one of the principles of sustainable tourism talks about economic benefits also for the people of that destination. And when they visit the destination, the ladies like you, those that do craft, they get to benefit as a result of people visiting. Your local eateries get to benefit. So we are able to push that sustainable tourism, which is very important. So I would say it's very important that people really visit the outskirts because it creates jobs in the places where they are really needed. We know the challenges that we are facing, especially with the city centers being flooded, people moving from the outskirts and moving into the city. I think if we can create jobs where people are, that will automatically deal with the challenges that we have in the inner cities with people flocking in. So I think it's very important that we venture out as well when we visit these cities.
It has been a jam-packed 3 days at the Africa Travel Indaba. Now, when we zero in on Durban, the host, of course, for this premier travel event, what are the main factors that Durban keeps building on as the host to drive forward the Africa tourism and travel agenda?
All right, thank you so much. It is indeed been a jam-packed 3 days, but I'd like to just expand it and say 4 or 5 days, because just from a context of eventing, we had mega events in terms of the sport, and then we also hosted the G20 tourism technical meeting, and then the Africa Travel Indaba that started on Monday with the Bond Day. So for us as the city of Durban, we really have a vibrant and sound strategy and agenda around promoting and developing our tourism, local economic development, and where we are right now with what has happened in the past 3 days. It started from the hard work in terms of the state of readiness for the city in different aspects of safety and security, and as well as destination promotion, and just making sure that the visitors, when they come here, as they were booking, and the delegates, the products in terms of accommodation and many other products in the ecosystem are actually ready, and they have really demonstrated that they are ready, they are global, and showcase the excellence. So for us, in terms of the ability and capacity of hosting Indaba, we've always been ready, and year on year our performance actually improves, because the transportation in terms of seamless transport from the airport and in and around, when people are maneuvering, there is those seamless environment. Over and above, what we make sure is the addition of tourism and ambassadors, because we are aware that the whole city is buzzing, different products, restaurants, and when people are taking walking to the ICC from their hotels, so there's that visibility of the tourism ambassadors and friendliness of the city of Durban, as Durban is the warmest place to be. So those are the other critical factors, and just making sure that infrastructure is up to standard, as we've been hard at work in terms of the roads and the lights, and also the waste management in and around the city. But the bars within Durban, because this is for the whole city, the people have also been ready, from the concierge and people in the hotels and other places which may encounter the visitors, like filling stations and restaurants. So we are really out there as the city of Durban, all hands on deck to host the Indaba, and it's been a successful 3 days.
I like the point that you've made, that Durban has been the place to be over the past few weeks, when we look at from sporting, tourism to business and leisure now. So with all of these eyes on the city, what are some of the ways you are leveraging that interest for the global stage and for investors and buyers?
All right. Firstly, it's about showcasing that when we host mega events, because Durban has been voted the leading, meetings and events destination by the World Travel, Awards. We have actually demonstrated. I'll just start with the big match that was the Soweto Derby happening here in Durban. So how we leverage there? Firstly, it's the partnership we had with the main sponsor, which was the financial institution, as it was a Nedbank, final, and we also leveraged to make sure, understanding that the demand is huge. There was then spin-offs in terms of the fan parks, where people were actually able to go there, the ones that couldn't make it to the stadium, and that made sure that we're getting more visitors into the city who wanted to be part of the vibe. And then also there were other fan parks in different tourism precincts, Umhlanga, Florida Road, the townships. So that was the leveraging as well. And then also just promoting in terms of the activations and the demonstrating that the city is really a vibrant, place for events, as it's Africa's playground. So that is what has been happening, the past 3 days. And now, when it comes to Indaba, remember the Indaba has a huge composition of buyers and also the media. So we've been leveraging here in terms of the past 3 days, different buyers from our key source markets, USA, UK, Australia, the UAE. We have taken them to showcase the different attractions that we have as the city of Durban. Last night we were hosting in Florida Road in Duka. It was so phenomenal, and to showcase the experience, because it's one thing to demonstrate visually and actually virtually and also through a brochure, but when you take the buyers to go through the experience, then they have a better understanding and feel of what the product is about, and sell it with conviction to their consumer or end user.
And as you continue to build impact and prepare the city for all of the interest that it continues to receive, what is your message to potential investors who are also interested in putting forward their stake in Durban?
Okay, we are saying Durban is open for business. Durban is ready for business. I mean, just now we've had a panel with one of our developers from, Fundamentum, from the West Town Square, which is a destination mall. So they chose Durban and invested in Durban. So that on its own was showing that Durban is indeed a conducive, and growing economy. And when you come to invest, your money is not wasted. So we're encouraging investors to choose Durban and invest in Durban. There's also other expansion investments, that are within Umhlanga. Developers are actually, investing there. Florida Road is actually bouncing back. It was the pinnacle of tourism in terms of culinary. So a lot of businesses are actually investing in Florida Road, and we invite other investors from the different ecosystem, or value chain of tourism to actually invest. And the city also, then, when there's the appetite for private sector investment, we come in with infrastructure development. Like in West Town, we spent about 600 million of infrastructure, investment in terms of the road, the water, the lighting infrastructure. So we are saying we are here and we are ready to invest in terms of infrastructure and creating a conducive environment, and we invite them to actually invest in the city so that the economy grows together in terms of new jobs, but also retaining the businesses and expanding the current businesses that we have in the city of Durban.
When we take a look at Durban, the venue of choice for this premier travel event, why is it so important for Durban in the context of the Africa Travel Indaba?
Thank you very much. This event is very important, for the city. It is helping us to cement, our position, globally, as the festival and events, destination of choice. So that is why we are working very hard at the moment, to make sure that this event stays in Durban, because of its, contribution to our local economy. For 2025, alone, this event is projected to, contribute, over 500 million to our GDP. With the number of delegates, that are projected to be here, at more than 9,600. We projecting that there'll be direct spend, of over 200 million. So that is very important for our growth. It's very important for job creation. You've got exhibitors, from across the province, who are here, who are going to be working away here with deals. So that they're able to sustain themselves. We've got, the hospitality industry, that is benefiting, from events such as this. So it's important that, we continue to make this event a success, as the city.
And I want to know, how do you continue to build on that impact that you have set forth over the years as Durban being the host of the Africa Travel Indaba?
Well, we're building on that, at the back of our, evolution journey. Going forward, we want to continue to invest, in our infrastructure to make sure that we continue to, have a world-class, offering. Our Durban IECC, continues to, be recognized, globally. If you look at the number of international awards that this venue has received, and we continuing to improve on that. Just 2 months ago, the city approved a contribution, monetary contribution, to make sure that the ICC secures a World Trade Center license. So that will then boost the position of this facility, to make sure that we're able to attract even more bigger investment and business events to the city. Apart from that, we are continuing as the city working very hard to make sure that we make our environment to be tourist friendly and investor friendly, attending to issues of cleanliness, attending to issues of crime and grime, and just to make sure that we are able to continue to present an attractive brand in Durban.
And as you continue to build on investor confidence within the city, what is your then message to any prospective investors who are interested in vying for Durban?
We are on a positive trajectory. We are working with other spheres of government to make sure that we revitalize the city's tourism sector as part of our recovery journey from the COVID, and we are seeing improvements. So we really want to encourage investors and event organizers out there to come to Durban, because we are the only venue that continues to offer a 365 conducive climate for people to be here. Besides that, we have warm people in Durban with a very rich culture and with a very diverse offering for people to experience. So we are open for business.
And that's how we wrap up this episode of Focus On in Durban at the Africa Travel Indaba. From me, Kiamo Mosipile, and the rest of the CNBC Africa team, it's goodbye for now.